it's Doris with All the Books, and I am here to do the 10 strange bookish facts about me. Chat/tag. This was created by Britta Bolher, and I just watched her video today, and it's absolutely delightful. You need to watch it. I will link it below. I was tagged by Shawn, who seemed to think that I was strange. Anyway, he wants to see my strange responses. And ironically, prior to all of this, I was reading my own comments this morning, and Patrice mentioned on my B video that I just posted that I need to do this tag, which I'm thinking implies that she thought that my B collection was a bit strange. So we'll just start with that. And I'll go ahead and tell you that I don't really have notes. Just I wrote down 10 little keywords, and we'll see how that goes for me. It may be a bit of a ramble, but I do have props. Props aren't required, but I got them. So anyway, the first thing I will mention is, yes, I do have a book collection around bees on the cover, which is right behind my head there. Here is one of the stars of the show, A Sting in the Tail by Dave Goulson. And yeah, this isn't the only weird collection I have. Over here, where's my finger? There is horses and cats. So there's the two more weird collections I have. And those aren't as well defined as the bee collection, so I haven't shared those with you. Perhaps I will make it a goal to have maybe the cat collection ready for display next Vlogmas. Anyway, I don't know, I'll get to it later, but I'm into cover art, and I'll also get to it later, but I'm into collecting things and making connections. I just like to think that way. So yeah, having a bee collection doesn't seem strange to me. And I mentioned in the video why it works for me to have these weird literary collections. But yeah, I like it. I like it. The next one is the Black Stallion. Now, what is strange about this? I think it's pretty typical for little girls to have horse fetishes. I collected Breyer horses, indeed I did. But I have a lot of memories surrounding the Black Stallion. So first off, I was introduced to the Black Stallion because my sister had a copy. She was 9 years older than me. And I distinctly recall dropping that book in the bathtub. Yeah, not a good move. I was a little girl. I was probably in 2nd grade. I also remember in 2nd grade, for whatever reason, that librarian back in the day didn't let little kids go to the bookshelves. She would just bring a stack of picture books to the table and let us, you know, choose one from that stack. But she would get me a Black Stallion off the shelf because I was reading chapter books. And what? Oh, the Black Stallion. This is, you know, son of the Black Stallion. And being that little when I was reading them, I was still, you know, quite innocent and just reading words the way I thought they were. And so I thought the Black Stallion's son was named Satin, but it's actually Satan. I was young and naive. Anyway, I loved the Black Stallion. Loved the Black Stallion as a child. I actually used to, my favorite was the Black Stallion's Courage, and I used to reenact that final race scene from my house to my brother's house. He was 14 years older than me. I would reenact that race scene on the little dirt roads, you know, trotting. And, you know, I was always the black stallion. And, you know, with Eclipse and, was it Casey? I think it was Casey. Anyway, the horses he was racing. So, yes. Next fact is, I didn't realize that didactic was a bad word until I got on BookTube a couple years ago. Truly. I love me a good didactic read. I'm like, what? You don't like that? Maybe it's the school teacher in me. Because, you know, we want to teach kids. We want them to learn things, and reading is a great place for that. So, yeah. Like, for example, the Watsons go to Birmingham in 1963. There's so much to learn in this book about history and racism and the way you treat each other, and the literary elements in here. It's got them all. You want simile and metaphor, it's in there. You want repetition, it's in there. You want illusion, it's in there. I love this book. I love didactic. Give me more didactic. And segueing from that one, excuse me, I just read it all, and I pretty much like it all, to be quite honest. There aren't many genres or many books that I don't like. I'm not plot driven, character driven, genre driven. I just like books, and I think the reason I'm able to read and appreciate such a wide variety of books is because anytime I pick up a new book, my mind automatically switches on to what is the author's purpose in writing the book, which dovetails with my didactic thing. And what is the author's perspective? Where are they coming from? So I think I always read books. Since I don't have a personal preference on style of books, I always read books a little bit through the filter of the author. And, you know, I'm assuming authors like their own books. So that helps me a lot. So I feel like I'm not a great reviewer because I just like books. So when I talk about a book, I just try to talk about what I liked about it, because most of them I like. For example, Melmoth, I just read recently, and this book was a fabulous puzzle to me. I just kept thinking about it. And a lot of people that I read it with didn't like it as well, but I don't know. I was just trying to get inside the author's head with this one, and it was very interesting to me. Let's see what's next. Reading focus. Oh yeah. So I think this probably, battery's running dead. I think this probably isn't strange. Maybe probably a lot of people do this. But over the years, I've had different things that I've been drawn to. I won't go into my childhood, but late teen years, I read fantasy. So much fantasy. I would bring, you know, all the fantasy. And then in my 20s, when I first started teaching, I taught middle school, and I was very drawn to Newbery winners. So I collected Newbery and Newbery Honor winners and loved them. I always thought it would be really neat for somebody to write their PhD on society and what we're thinking about, and how you can see that through the lens of these Newbery winners, because you definitely can. I think that's true with literary prizes in general, you can see often what the focus is in society, societal issues, by looking at these. Yeah. And this award spans way back, I think, into at least the 1930s. And you can see our society's thought processes over the years. It's very interesting to look at. But yeah, I read a lot of like romance novels when my son was little. Just, I needed that escapism. And in both instances, I just gave away those collections when I was done with that phase in my life. I don't know. It's just how it worked out. I missed one. A book. Oh, I'm a book nerd. That's one. I mean, that's probably not at all strange to any of us. Like, I read to my cats. I used to pretend I was a school teacher and would read aloud to my cats down in the basement. One time my dad caught me. I was just so mortified. That was when I was really little. I was the one to bring the book to the lunch table and read, you know, throughout lunch while everybody else was gossiping. And luckily I went to a small school where we had all gone to school together since elementary, and everybody knew that was just Doris, and they liked me anyway, so it's all good. Being a book nerd is totally fine. And then one thing Britta talked about was she doesn't like to be read to. And I was like, yes. Yes. I don't either. I just, bless, when people start reading, and I think it's a very effective strategy, but people read little clips from, or little passages from books out on their channels, and I just zoom past it because I just don't like listening to people reading to me. And I think it's because I'm very much a visual learner. I hate to go to in-service. I hate sitting around listening to people talk to me. Just give me the handout and let me read it myself. Audiobooks, I'm cool with, but I have to be careful which ones. I do better with nonfiction or just like casual entertaining reads. I don't do well with literary fiction on audiobook, but it's not just the book, it's what I'm doing. I have to be doing something. So I can listen to them when I'm driving, and I can listen to them when I'm doing housework. So if I'm, you know, I just can't sit still and listen. I would lose my mind and I would want to rip my eyes out. But if I'm doing something, I feel like I'm doing double duty and I'm getting something out of it. And I think part of that too is that I read so much faster than the audiobook reads it. And I know your next thought is, but Doris, speed it up. I've tried. I do listen to it at 1.25, but that is as fast as I can listen to it because I'm a Southerner and we don't talk that fast. And so when I listen to it sped up, it makes me tense. I'm like, oh, you are making me nervous. So I can't speed it up. I have to listen to it at the pace it reads it. That is too slow for me mentally. But if I'm doing something else, it calms me down. It's okay. So, is that strange? That's, you know, I don't know. That's just me. Let's see. I have notes here on that one. Yeah. I do though, like, I can handle a poem read aloud or like a short, like a children's book with pictures. But I think it's something about the short passages I'm not interested because it's out of context for my learning process. I don't really know. I'm just a little weird there. Okay, so this is the one that went with that because this is a great audiobook. Anyway, book covers. I mentioned this. I love a beautiful book cover. And, you know, that whole thing, there's an, oh, can you even? But don't judge a book by its cover. I agree to a certain extent. I'm not going to think that the book is crappy because it's got a crappy cover. You know, I understand that. But on the flip side, I'm totally cool with choosing this book over that one because this one's prettier. I mean, honestly, there are so many good books out there that I have to have some way of culling down to a manageable amount of wants, you know? So it's fine. It's fine. I have always loved English. I was really good in English in high school. I did not major in English because I hate to write. I hate it. I'm very capable. I can write. I'm not saying I can write a book. That's not what I'm saying at all. But as far as functional writing, I can do that. I totally can do that. But I practically have to tie myself to the chair to get myself to produce when I have to. So when I was choosing a major back in high school a long, long time ago, I didn't major in English because I knew I would have to write a lot of papers and I didn't want to. I knew that I could major in science and get by just fine. So that's what I did. So yeah, my first degree was in biology. I was a science teacher, but life has a funny way of, you know, coming around full circle, and I ended up being a ESL teacher, English as a second language, which is delightful. Anyway, that was serendipitous. And the last one that I thought of was annotating. This might be a fun tip for you guys. I don't often annotate because I don't like to have to slow down when I'm reading. That kind of takes me out. Having to take notes and stuff takes me out of the reading. Once in a while I'll do it when I just read the first few pages and know it's going to be profound. But generally I'm not an annotator. But one way I've gotten around that is like with this one. This is a good book for that. Whenever there's something I want to remember and I don't want to stop and write, yeah, I'll just take my phone out and take a screenshot. Works like a charm. So yeah, anytime there's a good spot in a book that I want to think about later, take a photo of that thing and I'm good to go, and it doesn't slow me down in my reading. So yay. Now I need to tag some people, and gosh, this was long. So I'm going to tag One Book, One Review because I saw her on Britta's comment section say that she didn't think she had 10 strange things about her reading or bookish life. And I'm like, if I can find 10, you can find 10. And I'm going to tag Michael Reeds because I think he would have some really good answers. And he's doing Vlogmas. And I like to do 3. I'm going to tag Stephanie from Time to Read because I'm really curious about what she would say too. And she needs the inspiration. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be back soon. Bye.